Hi, this is Tim. Today we're going to talk about how to use produced and consumed tags to communicate between different Controllogix and Compactlogix PLCs. For this video, we are using two of our Compactlogix trainers, and I'll put links to them in the description. And we're going to create two programs in Studio 5000. So we're going to start with a new program. And we'll call this one Station 1, and it is going to be a 1769 L16ER BB1B, and we have 0 expansion modules on it. And then I'm going to open up a second copy of Studio 5000. And we'll create a new program, and it'll also be a 1769 L16ER BB1B. And we'll call this one Station 2. And it also has 0 expansion modules. And since we have two programs open, we need to be really careful, one, which one that we're actually editing, and also where we download it to. So in my case, this is Station 1, and this is Station 2. And right now, I'm on Station 2's program. So I'm going to open up the controller tags, and we're going to create two tags. Let's make one that is data from Station 1, and it'll be a dent. And then let's make one that is data to Station 1, which will also be a dent. Now let's right-click data from Station 1, and let's go to its properties. Now, if it is something from somewhere else, then it's going to be something that we are consuming. If it is something we're sending to someone else, it is something we're going to be producing. So in this case, we're in Station 2. And this is data from Station 1. So this is going to be something we consume. So on our tag type, we're going to make this a consumed tag. And now we're going to have a connection right here. And if we hit the drop down, we're going to see we don't have anything available. And that's because to use the produce and consume tags, we need the other processor in our I/O configuration. So let's cancel out of this and cancel out of our properties. And then on the left pane, find I/O configuration. And then underneath it, you're going to see Ethernet. Let's right-click it and click New Module. And we're going to come up with a slew of options. But if you'll just type L16, and the only thing that's going to come up is going to be this 1769 L16ER BB1B. That is our processor. So we're going to select it and create. And then we need to give it a name. And as I've told you so many times, make your names unique. And all the times that we have created things and it didn't matter, this is where it starts to matter, is we're over here on Station 2. We want to know what in the world we're talking to. So don't call this PLC. And in this case, I use Station 1, Station 2. So I am going to make this one's name Station 1. Now we're going to need Station 1's IP address. And here's where knowing the IP addresses and having the IP addresses organized becomes very important. Because this one is 192.168.1.111. This one is 192.168.1.121. So since I'm looking for Station 1's IP address, it's going to be 192.168.1.111. I'll hit OK. And I can close that out. And now at our Ethernet, at first you're going to be like, whoa, I didn't add Station 2 here. But Station 2 is the program we're working on. So it's already under our Ethernet configuration. And let's just pop over to our Station 1 program, which we haven't touched yet, just so we can see that. Without ever adding anything, the PLC that we're working with is there. So over here, now we have station 1 and station 2. So now let's go back to our controller tags and right-click that's data from station 1 and go to properties. And okay, it's data from station 1. So we are going to consume it. So we'll change its type to consumed. And now we'll click the connection and we can select station 1. The remote data is what tag over here should it look for? Well, we're going to use the very similar naming that we did on this one, and that will be data to station 2. And click OK. And now, if we look in our base tag column, it's going to tell us exactly where this data is coming from. So this is coming from station 1, and there is the tag that we are reading. So Studio 5000 is going to take care of the rest. So there's no message configuration required like there used to be in the SLICs and the MicroLogix and all that. Now we have the data to station 2. Now, so this is something we are producing. So let's right-click it and go to Edit Properties. And if we look at our tag type, we also have Produce. So we're going to select that. And then let's click the connection here. And you're going to see that we have a max consumers. So we can limit the number of devices that can actually consume this tag. And the default of 1 is going to work fine in this case. We'll click OK. And that is going to be it for the communications configuration in station 2. Now we need to do the exact same thing to station 1. So let's go to its program, and in our I/O configuration, let's right-click the Ethernet, and we're going to create a new module. And again, we'll type L16, and our PLC will be the only one that comes up. And this is going to be station 2. And its IP address is 192.168.1.121. Now, if there is ever anything that always seems to stump people when they're doing communications over Ethernet, it is these IP addresses. Every IP address, one has to be assigned. You can't just throw these numbers that I'm talking about in this video. I have already assigned these to these PLCs, and I have videos on how we do all that. But they also have to be unique, and you have to know them. We have ways of discovering them in all types of things. So look down in the description where you can find all of our lessons. We're going to click OK, close, and now let's go to our controller tags. And we're going to create very similar tags under our Edit Tag tab. We're going to create data to station 2 and data from station 2. And they're both going to be dense, but okay, data to station 2, that is something that we are producing. So we'll right-click it and go to its properties, and we're going to select a produced tag. And again, there's no other additional configuration usually necessary for a produced because it's only the maximum number of consumers, which we're going to leave at 1. Now data from station 2 is going to be a consume tag. So our type, we're going to select consumed. And for our connection, we're going to select station 2. And the remote data is going to be data to station 1. And we'll click OK. And all right, now we need to download both of our programs. And for the most part, in what we have done so far, we've only been working with one PLC. Now it is so critical that you make sure you are downloading the right program to the right station. So in the top left here, since we created this program called Station 1, I know that this is Station 1's program, and it needs to go over here to Station 1. And additionally, I know this IP address. And in the description, I'll put a link to a video where we go into a little more detail of how we can do some checks to make sure that we are connected to the right PLC. And I'm going to go ahead and download this program and open up my Ethernet IP driver. Now we're going to have a lot more PLCs. So again, it's very important we know which one we need to download to where. So I'm going to be downloading this one here. And then I'm going to go to Station 2's program and download it. And I'm switching both of them back to run mode. Okay, now we're in Station 1's program. And the most important thing we want to look at to make sure that we configured our I/O right is our I/O okay? Which we can see either right here in Studio 5000, it says I/O okay, or we can look at the I/O light on the front of our processor, and it needs to be solid green. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to unplug the connection to Station 2 just so we can see what will happen and see immediately we got an I/O not responding because it is looking for that connection all the time. So just like when we put a drive on our Ethernet I/O or we put an expansion module on here, now it is going to be looking for this I/O. Now this does not cause a major fault by default if it doesn't see this. Now you can make it do that if you need to, but it's going to warn you there. So if you see this flashing light here or it says I/O not responding, then look at your IP addresses. Chances are you've got one of them wrong. But I'm going to plug this back in, and in pretty short order without any intervention, we're going to see it switch back to I/O okay. So there's no reset required or anything like that. But okay, we've got this in here. Does it do anything? All right, we're in Station 1, and we go to Monitor Tags. All right, we have data to Station 2. Now let's go ahead and same thing. Let's open up Station 2. And all right, we went offline where I unplugged it. So let's go back on. Let's make sure we're online. How often does that still get us? And let's go to Monitor Tags. Okay, so they're both zeros in both programs. So let's go to Station 1's program and data to Station 2. Let's put in 1, 2, 3. And now let's go to Station 2's program, and on data from Station 1, we see that 1, 2, 3. So there, with no messaging instructions or actually nothing in the program, let's make sure we see that. If we go into our main program and into our main routine, then we have no program yet in here. But let's go ahead and put something in here just so we can see a little something more than numbers going across. As I have the green light here wired to output 0 on Station 2. So let's add a rung and let's bring down an examine on and let's look at data from Station 1 dot 0. Now if you're not sure what I just did there with that dot 0, this is our base tag, data from Station 1. If I hit the arrow by it, then it's going to bring it up and it's a dent or a double integer. But you also have this little arrow right here. And if I hit that drop down, it's going to bring up all 32 bits of it, 0 through 31. So I selected bit 0 of it. So now, if bit 0 is a 1, let's bring down an output energize. And let's turn on this green light, which is going to be local :1 :0 dot data dot 0. And let's go ahead and put a description by it, green light. And let's put that into our Station 2 program. And right away we have a green light. And let's go look at data from Station 1 and make sure we understand why. Because we just had a few binary episodes recently. And if we monitor this tag, then we have a 1, 2, 3 is what we just put into it. Well, in that 1, 2, 3, it breaks out these particular bits as a 1. and I have a video on it, so I'm not going to go into detail of it, but mainly that 0 right now has a 1 in it. So let's go now to Station 1's program. And first, let's put a 0 in place of that 1, 2, 3. We see immediately our green light went out on Station 2. Well, I have our quick wiring arm on here. So let's make it where when we turn on input 0 on Station 1, that it puts a 1 into that bit. So let's go to our Station 1 main routine and bring down and examine on. And we're going to look at local:1:I.data.0. And we'll put a description of it of switch 0. And now let's bring an output energize down, and we're going to assign data to Station 2. And either you can hit .0, or you can use the down arrow here and hit the down arrow by data to Station 2 and select 0. And we'll put that in. Now, when I switch 0, the green light's going to come on. And when I turn switch 0 off, the green light is going to go off. Now, this is connected to this PLC, and while I couldn't quite get in the picture, there's a second PLC here. Let's just make sure that's clear. So this is happening over Ethernet. Now, a few other things about produce and consume tags while we're talking about it is let's talk about how forces affect them, because it would be good to do a little refresher on forces. What happens if I force on switch 0? So if I hit force on, first, nothing's going to happen immediately because I need to enable forces. If I go and I enable forces, then the green light is going to come on. Let's remove that force. Don't force it off. Let's remove it. The green light goes off. Let's force on data to Station 2.0. So right click, and I'm going to force it on. And the green light is also going to come on. So either one of these being forced on in what's called our producer program in this case, or mainly Station 1, what it's sending to Station 2 is going to cause the green light to come on. And similarly in Station 2, obviously we can force this bit on and enable our forces. And the green light is going to come on. So just a few things there. Then let's go ahead and remove all our forces, because it's never good to leave forces in programs, in my opinion. Let's talk about one final thing is when you look at this program, it can kind of look like that there's nothing controlling this bit. So how can we make sure that we understand that this is coming from somewhere? Well, hopefully we use a tag name that kind of gives us a clue, such as data from Station 1. That kind of tells me, all right, I'm in Station 2, it's coming from Station 1. But also, if we right-click it and go to Monitor Tags, then even here, when we look, it's not going to be super evident where this is coming from. And the reason is, by default, on the Monitor Tag screen, and they do it to clean it up, it's nothing really hiding, is that the base column that you see on the edit tags is missing. So one, we can just go to edit tags and we can see there, this data is coming from this particular location. Also from the monitor tag, we can right click it and go to its properties and see here that, okay, this is a consume tag. And I can click here and see, yeah, it's coming from Station 1. And it is data to Station 2. That's the name of the tag in Station 1. And finally, if you do have a program that uses an intense amount of produce and consume tags, you can right-click up here on the column headings, and you can add base tag to the monitor tags part. So now we have it there. Maybe we decide we want it right over here. We can just drag it over. And now we can clearly see here that this is the base tag. So that covers how to use produce and consume tags. And really, this does replace messaging on Studio 5000 style PLCs. So please give this video a like and make sure you subscribe to our channel. We put out at least one automation video a week. And any questions that come up or topic ideas, feel free to put them in the comments. Till next time. Hey, this is Tim.
And this is Amber of TW Controls. We run the automation store. Hey, thanks for finding our channel.
Here's a playlist with some similar videos.
And YouTube thinks you'll like this video.
Please like our video and subscribe to our channel.
And if our videos have helped you make some money and you're not using our products, please consider supporting us on Patreon.
Till next time.
See ya!